Welcome to Promenade Française. This is a channel where I guess I'm trying to give myself some kind of accountability. I'm from Canada and I have traveled the world. I've been to, I don't know, at least 30 countries. It started when I was 23. I moved to China and learned Chinese. Later on, I moved to Russia and learned Russian. I moved to Saudi Arabia and attempted at learning Arabic. Right now, I live in a little village in the country called Georgia. And this is my attempt to do something in preparation to return to Canada. My big goal is to move to Canada and to live in a French speaking city, maybe Quebec or Montreal. And well, I'm a Canadian citizen, so it's easy for me to move there. But if I don't speak French, it could be difficult. Promenade Française, the name Promenade Française, it's based on the idea of French while you are walking. And I started this idea because about 6 months ago, I found some puppies next to the hospital in our village. And I looked at the weather forecast. I could see that it was going to rain for the next several days. And these puppies, they were freezing to death. And this was before the winter. And I don't know what I was thinking. Well, the next day I went back and one of the puppies was missing. And then there was two puppies left. And then one of the puppies actually got sick and she had some problems. And now I have this puppy. So, and I take it outside every morning and we go for a walk. And the idea was that, like, what am I going to do for this 30, 45-minute time every morning when I go for a walk? And at the same time, my Russian studies have kind of slowed down. It's more like an hour a week thing. I really want to get back to Canada and I really want to be able to speak French. This actually came from I met an old man when I was living in the US in 1999. And at that time, I thought someday I'm going to be an international businessman. And I met a man that could speak seven languages and asked him, like, what are the most important languages in the world for an international businessman? And he said French, Chinese, Russian, Arabic, and German. Those were his top five suggestions. When I was 21, I started going to a university in Canada and I asked the German teacher, do German businessmen speak English? So he said, obviously, yes. So I scratched that one off the list. All right, so Chinese, French, Russian, Arabic. Those are the big four, right? And if you think about United Nation languages, those are the languages. And so I moved to China and then eventually moved to Russia and then eventually moved to Saudi Arabia. And so we're on the last leg of the journey and it's time to prepare to move to Quebec or Montreal or France. So that's this. That's now. That's what's happening here. So now I started going through some resources about how to learn French. And I found a bunch of textbooks and some Instagram channels and some YouTube channels and all these different ways to study French. I found a tutor online, but I don't know, after a couple months of trying having some false starts, I just didn't like the way that these language books were presenting the study of the French language. And so I just decided I'm going to study it my own way. And now we have AI. Actually, I had a vision. The main thing about French, the thing I didn't like about French, and the problem that I had when I was learning Russian and Chinese and Arabic, well, not with Arabic, because Arabic it's easy. So every Arabic person, when they meet another Arabic person, they say Assalamu alaikum. So it's really simple. And with Chinese, it's pretty easy too. Ni hao ma. Now with French, it's just as easy, I guess. It's bonjour, salut, and then what is good evening, good day. Well, that's the thing. So that's where I felt like I needed to start. I need to start with greetings in French. So I wrote up I created a character named Marie, and then I just asked ChatGPT, imagine that Marie meets people through her day, and then how would she greet people at different times throughout the day? And so it created a little dialogue. And then from there, I turned it into actually typed it up and I made a little PDF file. And then from there, I asked my French tutor to create some audio files with me. So that way, when I go for a walk, I could listen to the audio files. In fact, this is one of the best ways I found for learning Chinese. At the time, I was preparing for the proficiency exam, and I bought a set of tapes so that I could listen to Chinese. And I ended up learning a lot from just listening and repeating these sentences. So that's the idea. Using AI, using my imagination, and creating tools so that when I'm sitting or walking around, sitting in a car, going somewhere, or walking around, I can listen to these conversations. Well, after I created Marie, then see, another big issue is about pronunciation. I felt like the way that people teach pronunciation in French, I didn't really like it. And also, French is really weird because the way that they spell words is not the same as the way it's written, or maybe it is or isn't. I'm just a student right now, so I'm just starting out. So I created a new way to learn French pronunciation. I just take all of the sounds. So I take the words from the book Greetings in French, part one, Marie, and then I just found the key sounds. Now, there is some argument about some of the sounds because I grouped a lot of the sounds together, and maybe there could be some slight variation between the sounds. But if they sound like at least 80% similar, then I put them in one group. So there's there's 20 different sounds that you can make in French. And so there's a huge, in the audiobooks, there's a huge section of practicing pronunciation. You say the word and then you repeat a sentence from the conversations, from Marie's conversation. So the first few audio files are basically just listening to the conversations. So there's just a ton of listening practice. And that's the idea behind Promenade, to walk. Promenade Française, walk and speak French, or to walk with French. And then pronunciation. So there's just this huge section of audio for helping you to learn French and do that by practicing pronunciation. And now that I've completed the first book, the second book is Greetings Part 2, Nicolas. So then I just realized, so let's get another character. Let's go through his day. And also he'll be greeting people. So now we have Marie and her experiences on Monday and Tuesday. And then next we'll have Nicolas and his experiences on Monday and Tuesday. And then it just grew. So I created Wednesday and Thursday for Marie. And then I created Wednesday and Thursday for Nicolas. And then actually Marie and Nicolas, they meet each other on Thursday in a park and they start chatting. So the concept behind this program is something called graded learning or graded reading or graded conversations, which means we're going to start out like anytime when you're learning a language, you need some core vocabulary. And in the first 4 books, you're going to learn somewhere around 500 words. You're always going to have a choice to make. It doesn't matter what textbook you study. There's always going to be first 3,000 words. But before you get to the first 3,000 words, you have to get the first 500 words. And the first 500 words, it's a lot about the main words that you're going to need no matter what language you study. And I thought, well, since you have to learn these words anyways, so let's create some kind of conversation. Let's have some interesting characters. Let's talk about what they're doing in their day. Let's make it almost like a little TV series. Let's put a little romance in there. And so with all those ingredients, we are starting to have this series of books. I feel like it's the best way for me to learn French. And maybe it's also the best way for you to learn French. Graded reading, like I was saying, we need to get that core 500 words, but also we need to build just each conversation. You use the same words and then add a few more words and then the same words and add a few more words. And so we're going to be learning French as we experience the relationships that Marie has with her friends and the people at work, and that Nicolas has with his colleagues at the university and also his neighbors. And then we're also going to find out about the relationship between Marie and Nicolas. The last thing I wanted to say is that the books, as I said, it starts with Monday. In fact, it starts with Monday, April 8th, and today is Monday, April 8th. So today is the official launch of Promenade Française, official launch of the Promenade Française YouTube channel. In 1 year from now, let's see what happens. Hopefully, in a year from now, I will have a solid A1, maybe a solid A2 French level. So your goal should be to get to Thursday, to learn all the French so that when you get to Marie and Nicolas in the park on Thursday, that you'll have a vocabulary around 400 words, and then you'll be able to listen to their little conversation. There's some twists and turns before that. There's some emotional experiences. My little puppy Lucy, well, she landed in the book. Nicola has a little problem with his puppy Lucy. So she goes to the veterinarian's clinic on Wednesday. And yeah, when we get to the Friday and Saturday for Nicola, there's going to be some sad experiences. Marie, on the other hand, is going to a trip on the weekend. Anyways, if you're learning French, I would really love for you to come along on this journey. I'm going to make 3 videos per week, and I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, what I'm focusing on, and some of the grammar points. I'm going to share my experience with you. And my hope is that you will come along this journey with me. And if you are a beginner with the French language, I'm not saying that my course is better or that you should only take my course or only follow me. But if you're looking for a community of people and if you want to make some comments and if you're looking for some resources, obviously with French, there's no like, this is all you need. Like literally when you learn languages, it's about connecting with a large body of resources at your level. So I hope that you will support my effort and support the work that I'm doing for me to study, but also by producing this for you to be a part of the learning journey. Let's do it. Let's make this year a very impactful year for the study of French and also making some great changes and improvements in our lives. So here we go. We launch Promenade Française. Welcome aboard.